It's Friday, May 8th. This is CTV at 6. Here's what's making news tonight. A new era of patient records begins. Will it improve healthcare or slow the system? The Halifax Thunderbirds are one win away from going to the Championship Series.
Plan for a soggy Mother's Day on Sunday with more wet weather through the start of next week.
Live from our Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 6. Here is Todd Battis.
Good evening. It's been years in the making with promises of a better system in the long run. Nova Scotians' health records are moving to digital starting tomorrow in the Halifax area. As CTV's Callum Smith reports, healthcare workers are worried about the rollout of one person, one record.
Nova Scotia's one-person, one-record system comes online in the Central Zone tomorrow, but are healthcare workers ready?
They're not sure if the education they got is enough, and we won't know that until they roll it out. They're uneasy and concerned.
The massive shift digitizing patients' records has been a long time coming. A 10-year, $365 million deal with Oracle Health was inked in 2023. OPOR started at the IWK last December. The NSGEU described it as a firestorm in the early days, and the union is dreading tomorrow's broader rollout.
Lots of issues around that training piece, and members are truly very fearful. We know of folks not yet fully trained, some of them taking some training today.
Nova Scotia Health says some services will be reduced in the weeks ahead. Cobequid's ER closed at 5 p.m. until 8 a.m. tomorrow. The health authority also saying blood collection appointments across the Central Zone may be affected over the next 2 months. Doctors, too, are on guard. Naturally, physicians are concerned about the potential implications for patient care as OPOR moves forward in Central Zone. At the same time, we remain strongly supportive of the need to move forward with OPOR and recognize the importance of modernizing clinical information systems in Nova Scotia. Dr. Shelley McNeil says success relies on having adequate clinical supports, governance, and accountability.
It's a really important change, but the system's ready and the system will be better with this new OPOR than it is right now.
Because its goal is to streamline care.
Right now we have so many different systems that are trying to talk to each other. We have patients that are having to sit down and tell their own story numerous times. That's not efficient, but it's really difficult for people as well.
Despite the concerns, the nurses union said OPOR is something that, quote, needs to happen. A province-wide rollout is due by end of year. Callum Smith, CTV News, Halifax.
A young person has died after an overnight car crash on the eastern shore of Nova Scotia. A Honda Civic crossed the road and rolled into the ditch. Now, this happened in the middle of the night on Austria Lake Road near Musquodoboit Harbour. The youth driver and a youth passenger were taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A second youth passenger died at the scene. The cause of the crash remains under investigation this evening. Talks between the province of Nova Scotia and striking long-term care staff didn't last long yesterday. Both sides walked away from the bargaining table after a few hours of discussions. CTV's Jonathan McGuinness tells us what's next in this ongoing labor dispute.
Despite bargaining into the early morning hours, long-term care home staff are still on the picket line.
Bargaining broke down last night.
Both CUPE and the province tabled new offers.
So CUPE indicated that they were willing to negotiate, and we came back in good faith. Unfortunately, when they came to the table, they were actually asking for more than what they were already asking for, which was nearly double what government has offered.
True story, says CUPE's long-term care coordinator. But Kim Kale claims that was a mistake and there were errors in their wage grid, something they corrected and sent back to the province.
The union significantly moved off what their monetary position was back in March, so it was lowered quite a bit. But we were still looking for adjustments for every classification, to bring them up closer to, a living wage.
Word of the collapse in negotiations is tough for Tabitha Corey to hear.
I've seen, not clean rooms, not clean beds, not clean bed sheets.
Corey's father has been a resident of Glasgow Hall in Dartmouth for a little more than a year and is in the end stages of brain cancer.
I've been witnessing things that you wouldn't want any family member or friend to go through.
With negotiations stalled, there doesn't seem to be any extra help on the way.
CUPE will determine how long the strike goes on by determining whether they are willing to take the offer to their members and come back to the table with bargaining and good faith measures.
While not a vote, CUPE is holding webinars today and tonight to inform members what happened yesterday at the bargaining table and where negotiations fell apart. And Todd, Minister Barbara Adams says no new talks are planned. Staff from Shoreham Village in Chester joined the picket line today, and more are scheduled for next week. Todd. All
right, thank you, John, in Dartmouth for us. And a reminder, for more on this, our coverage, you can go to our website, ctvnewsatlantic.ca. We have an update on a story we brought you last night. We reported that some drugstores in New Brunswick are pulling energy drinks off their shelves. Though we had reported that some Jean Coutu stores in New Brunswick were pulling the drinks, the company clarified for us today that is not the case. There are some other New Brunswick drugstores that are removing drinks from their shelves. For some people, owning a winery, well, that's the dream. For one New Brunswick woman, the dream has gone sour. Years of hard work, coupled with onerous regulations and surging costs, have become too much. CTV's Derek Haggett has her story.
There's a lot of history inside Winegarden Estate, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, too. The owner of this winery and distillery has made her last batch. She's grown weary of being a farmer, advertiser, and bookkeeper.
It's a lot goes into one bottle of wine. And then, of course, we are located in the rural area, so we have to price accordingly.
The family came from Germany in 1983, and 8 years later, they started producing wine.
When you look at the history of wine and spirit making, it goes back thousands of years. But here in New Brunswick, the local production and sales started only in 1991.
Her parents built the business up, and Muesli and her brother eventually took it over. Over the years, other craft alcohol productions began popping up around the province. With growth came more regulations and policies.
On top of everything else, that was the point where I sat and realized I am a working idiot.
Operation costs, insurance, taxes, and fees have all gone up drastically. So after 35 years, production has ceased and the business is up for sale.
It's just too much for a farmer who wants to sell a bottle of wine to have this bureaucracy on top of you.
There's nothing specific the province is or isn't doing, she says. The red tape has simply worn her down. The business is still for sale, but Elke Muesli says any potential buyer must have a lot of energy and drive to make it work.
And running this is not a dream. Like, this is real business, right?
But there's no regrets, and she'll miss her customers, but not the paperwork. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Bayvert, New Brunswick.
Theft from liquor stores in our region has hit the epidemic level. Today, police announced it arrested a man suspected of having a history of stealing booze. RCMP arrested 35-year-old Wilfred Lataz Smith of Dartmouth when he was blocked by a security guard from walking into an NSLC location where he was known to staff. Police took him into custody, then charged him with multiple thefts from several liquor stores. He faces several counts, including theft under $5,000. He's scheduled to be back in court at a later date. There's a live look at the Avenir Centre in Moncton ahead of Game 1 in the Q League Finals. It is 11 degrees at the park there with Main Street in the background as we get our first look at the weather. And for that, we bring in Kale and Mitchell in the CTV Weather Center. First, we're going to look at some rain. We don't want to talk about rain. We want to talk about sun.
Yeah, we can talk about a little bit about both. Let's start with a recap of some rainfall amounts that parts of the Maritimes saw over the last couple of days. So that slow-moving weather front basically moved through Wednesday and Thursday. It was a fairly widespread 10 to 30 millimeters in the region, but a few areas picking up some rainfall amounts close to the range of around 30 to 40 millimeters, including spots to the northwest of New Brunswick and a few areas in Nova Scotia where the odd downpour and small thunderstorm move through. As we saw, it's a pretty fair weather evening around Moncton, but there is a low chance that a shower could drift through still over the next couple of hours. It's about a 30-40% chance. We have some pop-up showers that are drifting across that province and a couple more around parts of Prince Edward Island and eastern areas of Nova Scotia. We had some fun yesterday talking about some clouds, so I thought we could talk a little bit more about some of the clouds that we've seen around the Maritimes today and sort of explain a little bit more about why we had these pop-up showers. And that's because we had a little bit of instability in the region today. We had warming at the surface because of the sunshine, but we had some cooler air pooled aloft. And when you think about a hot air balloon, you know, that warmer air wants to rise, and when it rises, it develops into these clouds. You know, early in the day, they start off as those white, puffy cumulus clouds, pretty low level. You wouldn't see any precipitation from them. However, as those updrafts, that rising motion continues to strengthen into and through the afternoon, that's when you start to see some of these towering cumulus clouds, and they add up a little bit more, and the underside of them gets a little bit darker, and those are the ones that end up producing some showers. The next step up would be cumulonimbus clouds, and those are thunderstorms, and they, of course, stronger weather systems, and they can produce things like hail, heavy downpours, strong wind gusts, and lightning. Now, we didn't see much in the way of cumulonimbus in the region for today. There isn't any thunderstorms in the forecast for tomorrow, for Saturday, but we do have some wet weather returning for the end of the weekend on Sunday, and Todd will be talking more about that when I come back.
Okay, so the yard work, Saturday.
Yes.
Okay, we'll see you for the full forecast a little later. Thank you, Kalen. The New Brunswick government says its recruitment of doctors and nurses is working, due in large part to retention bonuses. As CTV's Nick Moore reports, other medical professionals are now demanding the same kind of incentives in their sectors.
As summer approaches, staffing shortages at least 2 New Brunswick hospitals are becoming a focus. Green Party leader David Coon says there are as many as 20 vacancies between Fredericton's Dr. Everett Chalmers Hospital and the Upper River Valley Hospital in Waterville that demands attention.
And people wonder why they're waiting so long for a PET scan or a CAT scan or an MRI.
The Horizon Health Network says there are 12 vacancies at the Chalmers, which includes an upcoming maternity leave and a planned retirement. Meanwhile, at the Upper River Valley Hospital, Horizon says there are 3 vacancies along with 2 upcoming maternity leaves. Coon says staffing shortages with medical imaging technologists is one major concern.
It would make a difference if they got a retention bonus, and for some reason, they did not.
Last week, Premier Susan Holt and Health Minister Dr. John Dornan said bonuses played a key role in a net increase of doctors and nurses in the province. Jennifer Carey is with the Canadian Association of Medical Radiation Technologists and says retention incentives would help in addressing staffing shortages beyond nurses and doctors.
Whether that be in X-ray, CT, MRI, nuclear medicine, radiation therapy, I think we have to up our game. And we have to be able to say, look, we are experiencing huge vacancies.
Carey says staffing shortages are resulting in patients waiting far beyond the 60-day benchmark of receiving an exam.
Sometimes, patients are waiting 250 days, 300 days, sometimes over 300 days for their exam.
Today, during question period, Progressive Conservative MLA Bill Hogan continued his line of questioning about staffing shortages at the Upper River Valley Hospital, one of which led to labor and birth services being diverted to Fredericton for a week last month.
One mother delivered her baby on the side of the highway. The other mother delivered her baby on the sidewalk out in front of the emergency department at the deck.
This is not acceptable. We are working hard to develop sustainable solutions, not Band-Aid solutions.
Both the province and Horizon repeated today that recruitment was a priority, but did not mention what, if any, role financial bonuses beyond doctors and nurses could play. Nick Moore, CTV News, St. John.
A new home for children under the care of the province of Nova Scotia was announced today. It's a $10 million project. The Chisholm Foundation is hoping for community support to supplement the final cost.
This project is about creating safe, supportive homes, therapeutic spaces where vulnerable children can begin to heal and build hope for a brighter future.
The 6-acre complex near First Lake will be welcoming 8 children to their new home this summer. This will be the first of 3 phases to be completed, with the second phase to be finished in 2028.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Well, just as St. Johners relish a summer of minimal delays on the Harbour Bridge, Another massive road project is on the horizon. This time, it will affect those who live on the city's east side. They'll be the ones who will find getting uptown to be a challenge. CTV's Avery McRae tells us why.
A quick drive down St. John's Courtney Bay Causeway will leave little doubt it could use a lift.
It needs to be done. It's in rough shape. The water, it's below water level. As you can see, the breakwater's right there. So it'll be worth it when it's done.
Not only has the city approved funding from Ottawa to redo the causeway, but it will be lifted around 2 meters to combat storm surge and rising sea levels. It will cost around $19 million to do.
Anybody from St. John who's driven across it on a high tide and a southwest storm wind, the waves do break and you get washed over the causeways.
Councillor Gary Sullivan says the project has been in the works for about 5 years, but the vital connector between the city's uptown and east side can't just simply go straight up.
The engineers tell me that in order to build the causeway up, it needs to be tapered. And so the top won't have 4 lanes of access anymore. It'll have about 3 lanes of access.
That means just 1 lane of traffic either direction, with a 3rd lane to be dedicated to cyclists and walkers. Sullivan understands some are unhappy with the lane reduction, but says it will make the causeway both safer and easier to maintain.
There's no traffic issues expected from going to 4 to 2 lanes.
As to how the causeway will go about being raised, UNB civil engineering professor Othman Nazar says a geotechnical investigation of the area is needed to know what backfill is required. From there, it's a slow process.
Like not more than 30 centimeters per each layer, depending, of course, on the type of compaction machine you have. So we're talking about 6 to 7 layers of engineered backfill until you reach the final layers of backfill and the asphalt layer.
Work is slated for 2028, which will take some shine off year 1 of a constructionless Harbour Bridge. Avery McRae, CTV News, St. John.
When the Halifax Thunderbirds finished the regular season with more losses than wins, few thought about the playoffs. But the region's professional lacrosse team is now just 1 win away from its first appearance in the finals. CTV's Jesse Thomas has more on their improbable run.
The Halifax Thunderbirds are feeling in control. They have a chance to clinch a spot in the NLL Finals at home with a win this weekend. Halifax can do it Saturday when they host Georgia, but if they lose, they'll have another chance to do it at home Sunday.
It's an unbelievable advantage that we get to, if we need it, we get to use Game 3 and we're at home again and we get the same home field advantage.
The final game of the series, if necessary, was supposed to shift back to Georgia on Sunday, but a scheduling conflict meant the Swarm's home arena wasn't available. And despite being the lower seed, the deciding Game 3 was switched to Halifax. That felt like a win for the Thunderbirds.
It's great to have. Hopefully we're not going to let it get to a Game 3 is our goal.
It's a position that seemed unlikely for Halifax midway through the season, considering the Thunderbirds needed to win their final regular season game just to make the playoffs.
This Halifax team is not an 8 seed. They are much, much better than that. They just weren't getting the bounces earlier in the year. They weren't finding ways to win.
Halifax started the year with promise, winning 2 straight games, but then things fell apart, losing 7 of their next 8 games. And with a 3-7 record, they were considered a long shot to make the playoffs, but Halifax, they believed in themselves.
It was like, let's just figure it out on a day-to-day basis. Let's have a good practice. Let's try and, play our best lacrosse, because we'd had a couple good games, then a lot of bad ones.
There are no Thunderbirds players up for any major league awards this season like MVP, and they're fine with that. They take a team approach.
It's not an individual sport, right? It's a team sport. So you need all 25 guys on the roster to be able to put a winning team together.
The pressure shifted from Halifax to the visiting Georgia Swarm. The Thunderbirds, they'll have the fans behind them. You can bet it's going to be loud inside the nest here on Saturday. The game is pretty well sold out. At last glance, there were still some seats remaining in the upper bowl area. Now, Halifax, they've got 2 chances to get the job done, but as you heard, Todd, they don't want to leave it until Sunday either.
No, we certainly don't want that second game. All right, Jesse, at Scotiabank Centre in downtown Halifax. Thank you. Time for our first Friday break. Still to come. A cool night tonight. Kaylin has the weather forecast for the weekend. But first, the punishing price of diesel.
Like, people seem to think that stuff shows up on their shelves. They don't realize it's got to come in by truck.
Maritime truckers tell us how soaring fuel prices are impacting their business and ultimately our wallets. That's next.
This is your Campfire Conditions Report brought to you by Pine Acres RV, where customers become friends. And in the province of New Brunswick, conditions are currently open for both Category 1 fires as well as campfires. In the province of Nova Scotia, Category 1 fires and campfires are permitted between the hours of 2 p.m. until 8 a.m. And for the province of Prince Edward Island, the province is currently open to campfires, with domestic Category 1 burning permitted between the hours of 2 p.m. and 8 a.m. Remember, these provincial restrictions are valid until 2 p.m. on May 9th. Remember to keep your fires small and under control and never leave a fire unattended. For the Campfire Conditions Report, I'm meteorologist Kaylin Mitchell.
We've seen dramatic increases in diesel prices since the start of the war with Iran, and it's having an expensive impact on the trucking industry around here. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth has details.
Peter McLean has been a commercial long-haul trucker for 30 years. He proudly delivers products on a daily basis.
Like, people seem to think that stuff shows up on their shelves. They don't realize it's got to come in by truck.
Most of these trucks run on diesel. The cost to fill up this 18-wheeler is getting more expensive each week.
It's like $1,600.
Since the start of the war with Iran, the global oil supply has been disrupted, and diesel has jumped in price dramatically.
By and large, we're looking at a 50 to 60% increase.
When McLean drives from Ontario to Nova Scotia, filling his truck gets pricier in each province because of different tax structures.
Whatever it's showing here, it's usually about 15 cents different, 15 to 20 cents different.
Many of these trucks are on the road every day, fueling up and shipping products between New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. According to the Atlantic Provinces Trucking Association, 90% of all foods consumed and manufactured materials used in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick are transported by trucks traveling between the two provinces.
That's about 2,500 trucks a day pass through that stretch of highway, moving $35 billion in goods per year.
Chris McKee says trucking companies use fuel surcharges to recover lost revenue.
These costs are passed along the supply chain.
Which means as diesel prices climb, farmer Josh Olton is now spending more money on essential materials.
We're expecting between 30 and 40% increase in fertilizer price.
It's also happening in other sectors,
including agricultural, the petrochemical industry, plastics.
Fuel analyst Carol Montroy expects the trend to continue into the summer unless the war with Iran ends, which could put a stop to escalating fuel prices. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Enfield, Nova Scotia.
Still to come tonight. Looks like Saturday is going to be the better of the 2 days if you're trying to get anything done outside on the weekend. A little soggier on Sunday. Kaylin has the details right after this. What do you think, Kaylin? What's bluer, the water there at Big Brador or the sky over it?
Gonna go water. It's kind of a deep, dark blue there a little bit.
Listen, either way,
blue in the sky.
Beautiful day in that part of Victoria County.
Also stratus clouds, by the way, that we're seeing.
We're talking a lot about clouds lately.
We're just on this cloud theme to end the week. I don't know.
Looks like this weekend is basically a replay of last weekend.
A little bit, yep.
Beautiful Saturday, not so beautiful Sunday.
If you're looking for sunnier conditions, then Saturday is the fairest day of the weekend. Sunday, we have showers returning to the region. Of course, not ideal timing because it is Mother's Day on Sunday, but let's take a look at that setup. And it is a weather front that's making its way up out of the northeastern United States associated with a low pressure system that's up through Quebec. It is going to be bringing showery conditions to the Maritimes and some patchy fog and some drizzle. And because it is a warm front coming in, winds are going to be out of the south, but they'll be a little bit blustery still with some gusts in the range of 30 to 60 kilometers per hour on Sunday. And we're going to get into a period of some soggy weather through the start of next week as well. It starts with this front on Sunday, but then that weather system sort of stalls out around us for Monday and Tuesday, and another low moves up and off the Atlantic around it. So we're looking at picking up a decent amount of rain from the end of the weekend through the first couple days of next week. It could be another widespread 10 to 30 millimeters across the Maritimes with pockets of higher amounts. If we're looking for the silver lining in these rain clouds, we are certainly on pace right now to not be short of rain for the month of May in the Maritimes. Well on track to be near or above average for the month. Taking a look at what we have going on for this evening and tonight, so back to a little bit of a shorter term forecast. We do have still some spotty showers around the Maritimes, but those were driven today by basically daytime heating. So as we're losing that this evening and tonight, those showers are going to be coming to an end. Mainly clear overnight, a few fog patches around. Should be a sunny and cool start to the day on Saturday. The afternoon, a mix of sun and cloud. A lower chance of showers for tomorrow, and mostly for a few areas, including up around the northeast of New Brunswick, as well as Prince Edward Island and around eastern areas of Nova Scotia. Any showers that do occur should be pretty spotty in their coverage and on the lighter side. Now, winds in the forecast for tomorrow will change direction. In the afternoon, they'll be out of the southwest, a little bit breezy with some gusts between 20 and 40 kilometers per hour. As the sky clears for tonight, temperatures do turn a little bit cooler. A lot of lows tonight will be around the low to mid-single digits, and some in the north of New Brunswick, right around the freezing mark. So there will be a chance of some patchy frost there. Taking a look at the high temperatures in the forecast for tomorrow in the north of that province, most of the highs will be in the range of around 13 to 16 degrees, so pretty pleasant temperatures for this time of the year. Fredericton tomorrow, the high temperature near 16 degrees. And same thing goes for St. Stephen for those in Campobello, close to 13, and then 12 for Grand Manan. 13 for St. John for tomorrow and 16 degrees for Moncton. Prince Edward Island, high temperatures in the forecast for Saturday. Looking at 15 for Summerside and Charlottetown, 13 at St. Peter's Bay, 11 at Surrey. Up west in the province, Tignish, 15 degrees. As for Cape Breton, high temperatures tomorrow will be in the low to mid-teens, 12 to 15. Closer to 10 degrees for coastal communities on the eastern shore of mainland Nova Scotia. For the north shore, though, around the mid-teens, 16 for New Glasgow and Antigonish. 16 for Amherst for tomorrow and for Truro. And for the city centres, Halifax and Dartmouth, high temperatures near 14 degrees. 12 for Chester and Lunenburg for tomorrow, but 15 for Liverpool and Shelburne. 13 for Yarmouth, and in the Annapolis Valley for tomorrow. Most communities will have high temperatures around 16, 17 degrees. 14 at Digby. There will be some showers that arrive in the southwest of Nova Scotia Saturday evening. That is the leading edge of those showers that become more widespread for the region on Sunday. Taking a look at our 7-day planner, beginning with New Brunswick. So there's the showers in the forecast for Sunday. Some further periods of showers on Monday, but then some rain should move through Monday night, with that rain clearing through Tuesday morning. Might just be lingering around parts of the south and southeast New Brunswick for Tuesday morning, and then free and clear of the province. Mix of sun and cloud follows for Wednesday and Thursday of next week, and a chance of showers on Friday. For Nova Scotia, in the forecast is showers on Sunday, some showers or patchy drizzle during the day on Monday, but then some rain expected to arrive Monday night into Tuesday. That system clears away and it's back to a mix of sun and cloud for Wednesday and Thursday of next week, with some rain possible on Friday. And here's a look at Prince Edward Island. And for the end of the weekend on Sunday, it's showers with high temperature near 14 degrees. Some further showers or patchy drizzle during the day on Monday, followed up by a round of rain arriving Monday night into Tuesday. Cools on Tuesday with a high near 8. After that, a mix of sun and cloud for Wednesday and Thursday, and a chance of showers on Friday of next week. Todd.
Well, if it's going to rain Sunday, maybe Mum would like to see a movie, hey?
Hey, that's a good idea.
We'll help you out with that because Richard Krause, our film critic, will be with us after the break to talk about new releases. Stay with us.
Happy Mother's Day to you all this weekend. Make sure you join us Monday morning for another 5K a day keyword.
And we'll have another pair of tickets to the Great Outdoors Comedy Festival next week. Good luck.
On this Friday, we look at what Hollywood is offering up for the weekend. With his take on new movies is our film critic, Richard Krause. There he is. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thanks for having me.
In the home studio.
That's right. Yeah, my home office, yeah.
Okay, we're going to start off with an old video game turned action pick, Mortal Kombat 2. Let's get right into it.
It's not something you're born with. It's searching for greatness.
Johnny Cage, you have been chosen for Mortal Kombat.
Pure escapism, I'm guessing.
Had it in you.
Absolutely. I mean, the story is just a fairly simple story of good versus evil. You have the outer realm and you have the earth realm.
Don't worry.
The earth realm has to protect itself from a Genghis Khan style warrior who wants to take over the realm. They stage a series of tournaments, and whoever wins the most of them gets control of all the realms. That's the story. It doesn't matter, because what you're going for here is to see the big action sequences. And they are plentiful, they are brutal, they are video game-like. There's enough humor woven through this story in the form of Carl Urban, who we all know from Boys and a number of other things. He's very funny in this. But really, this is just a movie that captures the spirit of the video games and does it pretty well. So it's in theaters right now. If you're a fan of that and a fan of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon style action, I think you'll probably dig this.
You mentioned it looks like the video game. Looks a lot better than the original Mortal Kombat that you and I probably remember, right? When it first came out. Okay, the next one is probably, if I were to pick one for the week, I think this would be it. Really super cast here. This is a glimpse of The Sheep Detectives.
Out loud to them. Mysteries, whodunits. I know who the killer was. I like to pretend that they follow along, but they're only sheep. Oh, why would he stop there?
Oh, Richard, this thing's got big laughs. It's got lots of heart. It's a winner, huh?
Yeah, I like this movie a lot. It is a talking sheep movie, as you can see. Hugh Jackman plays the shepherd. He's got a huge flock of sheep, and every night he reads them a detective novel. He reads it to them aloud. He thinks they just like the sound of his voice and that they love him, so that, you know, they'll stand around. And in fact, they understand English and they're drinking in all these stories. They love them. So when he ends up dead, murdered in his field, the sheep decide that they're going to help the police solve the crime because they have the expertise from hearing all these detective novels. It's funny. It is good for the entire family. If there is an intense moment, it is generally always followed by something that's really funny, so it breaks the tension for the younger members of the audience. It's got a great cast. I mean, you've got Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Bryan Cranston, Hugh Jackman, Chris O'Dowd, Regina Hall, Patrick Stewart, Nicholas Braun from Succession is in here. And this is a good one for everyone from the young ones all the way up to the grandparents, called The Sheep Detectives, in theaters now.
I should note that the Hugh Jackman's character's death is not a spoiler. That's right in the trailer. Nope. That's integral.
It's in the trailer.
Yeah.
It gives nothing away whatsoever. Okay. It's the inciting incident, they call it, in the film.
Okay. Our third offering, Dad gets everyone in the car, spontaneous road trip. Not quite sure why, though. Here's Omaha.
What time is it?
I know it's early, sweetheart, but we gotta go. We're gonna go on a trip.
So, what can you tell us about this without...
Well, not much more than you've already said. So it's set in 2008 during the recession. There has been a death in the family. The house has been foreclosed on, so Dad is taking the kids on a road trip. He doesn't tell them where they're going, nor do the filmmakers tell us where they're going. It is episodic, as road trip movies are. They go from place to place. They meet different people along the way. Mostly we learn about their interactions with one another and the dynamics of the family, and it leads up to a devastating ending. It's a 3 or 4 hanky ending here. This is a movie that is quiet, it's poetic, it is introspective, but it's really beautifully done. And the kids are terrific. They're not child actors. They're not precocious child stars. They really feel like real kids. And the guy plays the father, John Magaro, is the kind of actor you have seen in 10,000 things and go, oh, that guy, I like that. Yeah. Well, you'll like them here, too.
Okay. We're going to switch gears for a sec, but I want to mention that also opening is the Filmed in the Maritimes at the Place of Ghosts, is about Mi'kmaq history and legend. Looks really good, so that's available as well. That was shot in the Halifax area. But I want to talk to you about the loss of Ted Turner. We all know, you know, the impact he's had on television news with CNN, started TCM, Turner Classic Movies. What will be his legacy, let's say, in the film world?
Well, in the film world, it will be, I think, probably as someone who preserved a lot of films. You know, he tried to colorize a lot of old black and white films, thinking that they would find a larger audience. Don't dig that very much. But he saved a lot of films from being destroyed forever. And he started networks like Turner Classic Movies, and he acquired MGM's film library to preserve classic cinema. So all that stuff is great. It will be as a television executive, though, that he is remembered. Really is one of the pioneers of cable television and then cable TV news, CNN. I tell you, I met him a few times. I interviewed him for various things over the years. And there's a very, very small handful of people that when you meet them, you go, oh, I get it. I understand why this person is so successful. He filled a room. He was kind of unassuming, you know, he wasn't a big, loud person, but when you met him, he had so much charisma and just so much of whatever that X factor is that you felt you were in the presence of something really special.
Well, that's interesting. I would have thought he would have sort of, you know, like John Wayne, sort of kicked the doors open wherever he went and bounded in.
I have only felt this a few other times. Maya Angelou was one of them, and Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood walked into a room that I was in. I was in New York. I was at a party, and Clint Eastwood came, and the entire room just turned to look at Clint Eastwood as he walked in, wearing a golf shirt. He's not as big as you think he is. And he said, hey, everybody. And the amount of charisma he has, Leonardo DiCaprio was standing behind him, and no one noticed. Wow. That's Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, Ted Turner had some of that, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you for that anecdote and your thoughts on those films. A couple of good ones there, and we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks' time. Till then, happy viewing and good seeing you.
Yep, we'll see you again soon.
We'll take a break. We'll be back with much more after this. We wrap up the week in health news by marking World Ovarian Cancer Day. Plus, helping parents stress less may also help keep their kids healthy. CTV's Amanda Debison has the details in tonight's Lifeline.
Today is World Ovarian Cancer Day. According to current stats from the Canadian Cancer Society, an estimated 3,100 women in Canada would have been diagnosed with ovarian cancer in 2025, and an estimated 2,000 will die from it. Ovarian cancer can start in the cells of an ovary, but the most common type is thought to start in the cells of a fallopian tube. According to Ovarian Cancer Canada, 25% of ovarian cancers are known to be hereditary. Certain genetic mutations, such as BRCA gene mutations, also increase a person's risk of ovarian cancer. Experts say it can be difficult to detect, and there's no effective screening test. Common signs and symptoms include bloating, pelvic or abdominal pain, or changes in bowel and bladder habits. Manitoba has declared a public health emergency over sharply rising HIV infection rates. Officials say the province recorded 328 new cases last year, compared with 90 in 2019. Health authorities say the most recent transmission has been linked to intravenous drug use and unprotected heterosexual sex. The province plans to expand testing, treatment, and prevention efforts while seeking more federal support. Finally, a new study from Yale University found that helping parents manage stress may lower the risk of unhealthy weight gain in young children. Researchers found that parents who reported less stress had more positive interactions with their children, and their kids ate fewer unhealthy foods. Experts say stress at home can shape family routines, food choices, sleep, and physical activity, all of which may affect a child's health. The findings suggest supporting parents could be an important part of preventing childhood obesity early in life. So what can families do? Experts recommend simple stress relief habits like taking a walk, asking for help when needed, and keeping regular meal and bedtime routines. With Health and Medical News, I'm Amanda Debison for the Lifeline.
Mornings with Aaron and and Peter. Bike a Day in May continues all weekend long with a brand new bike from Canadian Tire.
Listen for the bike bell between 11 and noon and then text us your name at 100 24/7.
On the markets, the Dow Jones in New York ended the trading week flat today. The unemployment rate in this country in April moved up to 6.9%. Canada lost close to 18,000 jobs. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has the numbers.
Close to 48,000 full-time jobs were lost last month, offset by about 29,000 part-time jobs gained. There were also more people looking for work in April than there were in March. That's one reason the unemployment rate moved up to 6.9%. But the rate for younger Canadians, 15 to 24, is twice that, above 14%. Employment fell in Quebec, but rose in Ontario. Enbridge reported earnings today. Its first quarter profit was about $1.7 billion down from $2.3 billion a year before. But the pipeline operator had a strong quarter in gas transmission that offset some weakness in its liquid pipelines. It also reported a bigger backlog that now totals about $40 billion. TELUS reported flat revenue of just over $5 billion for its latest quarter. The company only added 12,000 mobile subscribers, less than expected, and 21,000 internet customers. TELUS is in the middle of an executive switch out. Both the company CEO and CFO are retiring next month. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 73.08. West Texas Intermediate is up 61 cents to 95.42. Western Canadian Select barely changed at 74.45. And the TSX gained 221 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Okay, Kaylin's on the weather deck with one more look. And now, we've had a theme this week of cloud photos.
Yes.
Do we have another tonight?
We do. Let's go to one more cloud photo. So this is at the tail end of that weather system that was clearing through Nova Scotia yesterday, clearing fast enough for parts of the region that there was some sunshine at the end of it, some blue sky peeking through here. And the cloud that we're seeing here is a stratocumulus cloud. And this was sent in from Dave McDonald. I want to thank Dave very much for taking the time to send this picture in. It was taken from Crow's Mills in Nova Scotia, where for tomorrow a mix of sun and cloud can be expected with a high temperature up to around 16 degrees. Well, let's take a look at our day planner across the region. So in the morning, pretty sunny start to the day. If there is any little bit of patchy fog around, it'll be dissipating fairly quickly. Morning temperatures a little bit on the cool side, mostly around the low to mid single digits. And then in the afternoon, it remains a mix of sun and cloud for the region. A lot of the high temperatures tomorrow coming up towards the low to mid teens. There are a few areas that will have a low chance of some spotty pop-up showers developing afternoon into early evening. That includes the northeast of New Brunswick. It includes Prince Edward Island and includes parts of the north and east of Nova Scotia. Hope you have a great weekend. Let's find out what's coming up on Your Morning Atlantic.
Monday on Your Morning Atlantic, heading to the polls.
We will find out what New Brunswickers need to know as they prepare to vote in the municipal elections across the province.
Start your morning with us Monday on Your Morning Atlantic on CTV2 and Crave.
And finally for us this week, soccer fans can rep their city at the World Cup this summer. Fans can wear one of these brand new FIFA host city jerseys. FIFA is releasing a special jersey for all 16 host cities in Canada, the U.S., and Mexico ahead of the tournament. Much like World Cup tickets, though, these jerseys will cost a pretty penny, $375 U.S. If you're doing the math, that's a whopping 513 Canadian dollars. They're also limited, with just 999 of each jersey available worldwide. The World Cup begins a month from this Monday, right here on CTV and TSN. That is our look at the day here at home. CTVNewsAtlantic.ca has our weekend reporting. We're going to leave with a couple of moments at Lawrencetown Beach with the names of everyone who brings you your newscast nightly. I'm Todd Battis. See you Monday. Have a great night.
CTV News, the Maritime's #1 newscast. Watch live on Crave.